debates and decisions that are shaping our continent now in Europeans.
Far from Europe, this is the Sirsa district of northern India. Roughly 6 out of 10 of the people earn their living in farming. It's the same for India overall. Yet these 60% earn little more than 20% of the country's income. India's economy is galloping, but agriculture is having trouble keeping up. Nature takes its time. You can't hurry it. Or can you? With genetically modified organisms, GMOs. Some 200 kilometers from the national capital Delhi, farmers in the state of Haryana were convinced that insect-fighting biotechnology using Bacillus thuringiensis, or BT, is the way of the future. Cotton production has jumped by 160% since insect-resistant BT seed was sown in 2002. India is a cotton export major once more.
Due to the more profit and less expenses on the BT, due to the pesticides expenditure, we have benefited from this 2,000 to 3,000 per hectare and more yield from the cotton field 2 to 3 times.
Now see if you can spot the BT cotton as opposed to traditionally grown. Who in their right mind would stay with the old stuff after seeing the difference in the crop's performance? The BT industry has no trouble finding customers here. The farmers say everyone involved is happy.
After going the BT, not only the farmers, but even the labor is gaining more due to the picking earliest. Before they can pick only 30 to 40 kg and now he is growing up to 70 to 80 kg per head. And they are very happy due to the profit. Our traditional cotton are very hard and this is very soft to pick up. Then they are going to much profit and more.
BT cotton has the Indian authorities' approval, but they are cautious about a broader use of GMOs. Cotton has brought Mehta's family success, but not to all of India's cotton farmers. The Gandhi Research Centre warns that many who switched to the new wonder cotton have been struck by the high price of seed and the dependency it brings. But national public researchers say the investment is safe.
We want to build up confidence, with the consumers that these technologies are safe, and not only they are safe on the scientific grounds and on scientific footing, they are even further tested after the scientists have developed it by some of the public funded laboratories. Even if it is a private company which is developing these GM crops, they are all being tested by the public funded institutions and regulated by the federal government.
While India has opened its doors to BT cotton, other GMOs are still waiting for an invitation. GM rice, for instance. Civil society organizations such as ISIS have raised questions after animals were reported to have died after grazing in BT cotton fields after harvest, and farm workers fell ill. Recent data published by the World Bank reflect India's caution over GMs. Official national voices say thorough research has been done and continues.
Particularly we started with cotton. We have established certain protocols to find out its impact on all other aspects. So all kinds of possible tests which we could imagine were already conducted, and then only we permitted the GMOs. All these health issues we'll have to consider before permitting. That's why we are going more slow for GMOs in food crops.
More than 6,000 kilometers away, in Brussels, the European Commission also keeps close tabs on revolutionary biotechnology. It applies the precautionary principle to GMOs. BT crop approval is deeply controversial for some EU countries, but the EU executive body agrees that in medium-income countries like India, BT is a step forward in tackling poverty. But Europe-based NGOs say BT cotton could be disastrous for poor farmers and the environment.
If we look at the cotton in particular, it's a kind of GMO that is called BT. That is to say, it's engineered to secrete a pesticide, a toxin for a certain type of insect. What is not known is the impact of this toxin on other insects and species, which are very important for soil health. This raises potential problems for environment issues widely, but also for farming, because you can only have a good and vibrant farming sector if your soil is in good health.
India is a fast emerging player in biotechnology-related activities and investments. Proponents say it is poised for colossal growth.
BT cotton, in 5 years, it has changed the scene. It has doubled India's production. We want to grab the opportunity to produce things. We need to produce more.
India's goal is to compete directly with other medium-income agricultural powers such as Brazil and Argentina. But according to the World Bank, as a consequence of the growth in India's crop production, prices of GMO seeds have increased by as much as 300%. Skeptics of such a revolution fear that farmers could one day be held hostage by the big companies.
We should be very, very careful, because we are making farmers depending on multinationals. Instead of using their crops or the seeds of their crops year after year, now every year they have to buy seeds from a certain company. And the company is protected by the law of patents. And this means that farmers, they are really depending on these companies for their crops.
Accelerating agricultural development is a top priority for India. Most of its poor live outside its cities. If the land fails to sustain them, they move and add to pressures in urban concentrations. While genetically modified crops might be part of solutions to support the country's ultimate resource, its 1 billion people, Delhi says it's aware of the detailed scrutiny needed. Environmental impact cannot be ignored. Technology applies at many levels, and the poor, to get better returns on their work, must be able to afford it.